Okay, sorry about that. But we're back. I just really had to rotate the camera and it wasn't letting me do that without stopping the stream. I'll just wait for some players to come back to the pitch. Hello? Hello, anybody coming? Who's coming back? Yeah, so champagne sailing conditions here in Vasiliki Bay. Hopefully we will be up and running at some point this summer so that we can get these bad boys out on the water, stand at the back and pull the sail in and out like there was no tomorrow. Right, I think I'm gonna crack on. Am I gonna crack on? Yes, somebody's here. All right. Yeah, this is the problem when we stop the stream. When we put a dam in the stream, then all the water builds up behind it, creating a lot of pressure. Tim is back. Yes, good to have you back, Tim. I think you could claim that you're the first to get back. Good on ya. Nice. Oh, hi, Murilo. Nice to have you here. I think we featured your boat. Was it in last week's Show Us Your Cat? I broke it deliberately because I needed to reorient the camera to get a bit more in the picture because yeah, I saw, yes, it was Christian's back, G13. Good to have you here. All right, so just gonna give it 2 shakes. 2 shakes. Right, how are we doing? All right, let's just steam into it, shall we? All right, so this is the same for all catamarans. Before you fit the trampoline, once you've worked out which way you're going to put it on, which way, where the toe straps up, that would mark the top, and that, and a good idea. Oh, hello, Beneteau 40. Hi, Joe. Close to 10,000. What? Oh no, I missed the rest of that. The messages only stay there for a jiffy. Yeah, so yeah, as Beneteau 40 just correctly said, I am so close to 10,000 subscribers, I can almost smell it. I think I'm like 35 or so short. So if you've got a friend, a question in my Hobie 16, the space between the parts of the trampoline, 20 centimetres apart. Is that right? With older trampolines, they do kind of, what would you say, the opposite of stretch. They get a bit smaller as they get older, strangely. I think like they shrivel up a bit. So with an older boat, the gap between the halves will get a bit bigger. But we're gonna look at what we can do here. Hi Marco and Christina from Italy. Nice to have you on board. Hope that things are looking a bit more promising there. Oh, your trampoline is new. Ah. Want my trifoiler for Show Us Your Cat? Yes, we do. Yeah, trifoiler in action. Giovanni, what else do you do for a living? Just boats. Boats. Right now, all I do for a living is these videos because the holiday work, slow sailing canvas, bars cut tramp. I use it on a Prindle 19. Easy to use. Custom trampolines are a thing. You don't have to buy the original trampoline from the manufacturer. In fact, working round the clock, we've got Thanos at OS3 Sales, who is making some custom Hobie 16 trampolines for us. I've done a provisional fitting of one of them, and I can tell you, that thing looks fast. It's grey with blue trim, very quick looking, and I can't wait to get those on board. As soon as I do, don't worry, you're going to know about it. Yeah, so this is my only job at the moment, is making videos, seeing as the holiday whole empire has gone down. They make one for almost every boat. Yeah, so tap Chris up if you want some contacts there. Chris can also help you if you want to put rope rigging on your boat, rigging made from Dyneema instead of wire. Chris is in Texas, and he's the man who knows where to get things. All right, so here we go. Let's steam in. I'm going to stop replying to comments just for a bit, otherwise we'll never get started. Yeah, this is an original. This is a 2014 boat. Hi Rango, you bought your Hobie Tiger. Yes, nice one. Got to get you a beer. Maybe later. All right, I'm gonna start now. Coligo Marine. All right. So before we fit the trampoline, I'm gonna stop reading the comments for a bit. You can chat amongst yourselves. We're gonna take some water, and we're gonna get the trampoline quite wet. What this will do is allow the trampoline to stretch more while we're fitting it, because you may notice when you go sailing, if it's windy, even if your trampoline was tight on land, it gets looser when you're out sailing. That's because when it gets wet, it gives a little bit. So if we put it on when it's wet, that means as it dries out, it's gonna suck in, and we'll have a tighter trampoline. But as well as that, because the 16 tramp has got tracks, we're definitely going to get the bolt ropes wet, because that will make it a lot easier to get it in. So I'm just going to do the bolt ropes for now, and then once it's on, before we tighten it, I'll do the body of the trampoline, if you like. Okay, here we go. All right, I will reply. All right, yeah, gonna fit my Tiger Tramp. Yes, you are. Oh, lovely. Rango's just bought a Tiger, everybody. I think that's a big congratulations. Anyone use wax here? I just use water. Same on the sails as well. Can you get... Okay, Giovanni, I'll come back to you on that. The answer is yes. Hold on. Is it cross shore? Yes, it is, Ali. Cross shore at the moment. I do it the conventional way of water. All right, so because we're going to put it in the sidebars first. You can do this whichever way round your sidebars are on. And if you've got a particularly tight one, then you will. If you've got a particularly tight one, you haven't got two people available, what you can do, I'm going to demonstrate this actually, is take a piece of rope, tie it to a convenient eye. Did we all see that? I just tied that on there. And then I'm just going to pass it under the front beam, and I'm going to use this like a pulley almost to pull the trampoline in, and then at the same time we can feed it in. Check this out, it's like magic. Sorry, just moved the whole boat. There she goes. She's going in now. Now she's got a taste. Of course, the more water we put on, the better. If we get the beams wet first as well, that is going to help. So, there we go. So I'm just going to take that rope off now, because that is in there. And by the way, I was thinking of making a complete assembly video on each type of boat, because there's clearly time. Because I've clearly got a bit of time. So a whole assembly video start to finish, but edited so it's not too long. All right, so now I'm going to feed that into the front beam. Can we still see this? Just about. The front beam is generally pretty easy. As Steve asked before, this is just for your information. This is a 2014 Hobie 16 with the original trampoline, just so you know, if it's important to know. So we've done that one, and you're not going to believe it, but I've got another one. Yeah, two. That is quite greedy, so I'm just going to get me sponge and just getting her nice and wet. Very good. All right, there we go. That is wet enough. So I'm just going to stick that in. There's no innuendo going on. This is all just words. And it's all just you making that happen. Right. All right, in she goes. A little bit left. All right, gonna have to move the camera. See, I was gonna put, if you have tuned in just now, I was gonna put the camera on my head, a GoPro, but the technology has failed. I spent some time, and no matter what I did, it wouldn't work. Sorry guys. This is too bad. All right, let's just flip this around. Here we go. So, can you reach around a bay all day long, Quince? Nice to have you here. Enjoyed the gig last night. Used sailcoat. That sounds slippery. Right, so this is, I think it's important to know, in case you've hurt your hand, how to put the trampoline on, not only on your own, but on your own with one hand, because you're holding the camera. So this one's just got a little kind of kink in it, so I'm just having to feed this in. So I'm just gonna, okay, one-handed is not gonna work. I'm just gonna stick this here. As slick as owl stuff. Chris knows that owl stuff is pretty slippery. All right, so there we go. She's in the side. Just gonna pop this one into the front. All right, there she blows. Yes, she does. All right, so the trampoline is on the boat. I think we've all observed that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, on these boats that we've got here, if you tuned in last week, you'll remember that the reason I turned the beams round is because we were getting wear just there. So what we're trying to do is make sure those these corners are really tight. So we've actually had some extra holes put in the corners, and we're going to tie that corner really tightly around this part of the beam. Now, it happens that I've got some bits of string that are ready for doing just that. Let's just reposition again. This is Operation Position the Camera. Yeah, so I'm going to be making a all-inclusive rigging video for each type of boat. I think it's a good idea. I think everybody would, because when you want to watch a video about putting a boat together, you don't want to watch the full hour-long in real time with some bloke going on because he can't stop talking video. You might just want the facts. I think that's what I look for when I'm looking for a video on YouTube, mostly. All right, so I've done this with a bowline in one end. Just going to pull that round a little bit more. Little bit of a fiddle to get a knot in it, but we can do that. So I've got this really, really tight up against the front beam, and just tying it off there. Very nice. We like that. And if you'll bear with me for a second so that we can get an end result, I'm going to have to do the same on the other side as well. You can put the kettle on if you want. Okay. So here we go, tying a bowline in the piece of rope there. That bowline is going to just poke out of the hole. And I'm going to pull it as tight as, please insert whatever analogy there that you'd like. And by the way, if you didn't get the memo earlier, this week's loosely disguised half-an-hour yoga session is going to be tomorrow, 5:30 Greek time. That is 4:30 CET, 3:30 in the UK, and then at other times around the world, because those are the only times that I can think of off the top of my head. Windy there, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh, okay, you're talking between yourselves, that's all right. Okay, so that is phase one complete. The next thing we want to do is get these sides really tight before we start pulling anything else, just to make sure that the sides are tight. So I'll just do one side and then I'll have to do the other side. Right, flipping around, trying to get a good spot here. There we go. If you fall off, don't be too alarmed. Okay, so with a 16, I'm not actually going to show you, because to take the camera off there again is going to be not a drama, but a little bit more than we need. There's a small hole just at the back inside of this casting here where the lacing is going to start. So just going to put a stopper knot in the rope, and I'm actually going to this is what preparation is all about. I'm actually going to try a slightly new method here for the lacing. Try to, you know, if you stay the same, you never improve, you never get better. So even with lacing your trampoline, you might as well change. And it was actually a chap from New York State, I think it was, in the States, of course. He was out on holiday last year, and he said, have you ever tried doing it like this? And I said, no, I've never tried doing it like that. And he said, you should try doing it like this. So I thought, I know, I'm going to try doing it like that. And you know what? I thought it was pretty good. So here we go. So I've come up and out of the hole. Then I'm just going to squeeze on a little bit to start with, and then just hold it. And then this is the curve ball. Are we still there? Yep. Can you see all this? Can we see the curve ball? Can't really see what I'm looking at. Oh, we're just missing the curve ball. Right, slight angle change. There we go. All right, so then I'm actually going to go round the beam. Where do these ideas come from? I tell you, they come from everywhere. But we get such a lot of people coming sailing here. Everybody's got their way of doing things. And even after doing this for, let's call it a reasonable amount of time, there's still things that you wouldn't think were the way, which are the way. All right, so what I'm going to do, we've got this first bit pretty tight there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go round here, and I'm just going to very quickly tie that off. This is a quick tying off. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so here we go. Let's try a different angle here. Into the sun, that's artistic. You can't really see what's going on, but under the banner of moving on to the next section, let's do that. So just putting that through there. Figure of 8 knot in the end. Oh yeah, that's where the hole is. In case you've never found the hole, that is where you'll find it. And then there we are. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to come out. Of course, if you've got an older boat, you need to be a little bit careful not to pull too hard. When you're pulling, you can come with me. When you're pulling any of the trampoline, you really want to be paying attention to these cringles. And if you see the kringle is pulling away or cracking or anything bad, unless you're actually going to take the whole thing off, take it to a sailmaker and get it repaired, then just ease off a little bit on the tension. Because chances are, once you've got the tension of the whole trampoline between all of the kringles, then it's not going to be too much load on one, but it's actually, when you're pulling it, that is when you could break it. And it's quite disappointing, especially if you're getting to the last one and then you rip a kringle out of your trampoline, you have to take it off, send it away, and then what a waste of time that was. All right, so here we go. We're just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put you back down there, pointing into the sun. But these kringles on this one are pretty good. So I'm just going round the beam there. This is probably going to mean that this rope is going to be a bit short, because I haven't changed the length, I haven't put a longer rope on here to be able to do this. So there's a chance it'll be too short, but we'll see a bit later on. So then just going to pull a bit of tension on there, and I'm going to go round again to take that tension, and then we're going to tie her off there just to hold that for now. Hurrah. All right, now we're going to go and do the whole of the middle. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful shot. Kind of like a bit Hollywood. If I can actually get this to stay in one place. Yeah, I think the edited version is going to be pretty good when you don't have to wait for the guy filming it to position his camera before. No. All right, what are we going to go for? One-handed. All right. All right, shall I tell you what? I'm going to put you down here. Hope that's okay. Just enjoy the view, and I'll just get started. Then you can come back. All right. Just getting started. Don't go away. All right, so I've got started. I've made that start, and now we're just going to lace this bad boy up. So I've started off with a bowline, and we've seen on this side, the starboard side, the first hole, in fact, is the spacing the same? All right, I'll stop that. There used to be the first hole was a little bit closer. So if your first hole is closer on one side, you want to start off on that side, so then you go back there and you'll be lacing it the right way. Okay, so most important when you're doing this lacing is you are consistent in which way you're going round. Doesn't matter which side you start on, as long as you're consistent. And I'm going to lace this whole fella up. All right, we're going for another angle. Here we go. 'Cause we've got a trampoline on now. We can use it. It might be a bit bouncy. There we go. So at least I can use two hands. So just doing this, I'm going to use up all the rope. Not tightening it as I go. Just going to pull it through and then tighten it afterwards. This is just how I do it. Of course, everybody has got their own method, but my method has come about from generally doing it on my own, just because that way you don't have to get somebody to help, because there might not always be somebody available, like right now. Nobody available to hold the camera or to bring down beer or anything. All right, we'll try to have this licked in the next 15 minutes. Is that optimistic? I think we've been going for some time already, and the clock is ticking. All right, so just going round and round. There we go, lovely job. Love going round and round. Who doesn't love going round and round with the trampoline? Oh, love it. There we go. Okay, so I can tell you now, on all of our boats, once the trampolines are tight, the gap in between the two sides is probably only like 2 centimetres. Some of them actually are touching. That's just because we have them done up so tight. Well, we have them done up the correct amount of tightness at all times, and they get used a lot, which means they get re-tightened again and again, which means that the sidebars bend more, which means that gap gets smaller. Here we go. So I've almost run out of string there. All right, yeah, so I'm just going to kind of loosely tie that off there. All right, so there we go, ready to start tightening up. But before we start tightening, like I said before, we're going to get this bad boy wet. And that will help it to stretch more. And I'm going to be lying on the grass underneath the boat, so that will mean that I'll definitely get soggy under there, which is what we're into just after the sun's gone down, and it's going to start getting pretty chilly. Yeah, pretty chilly here in the evenings at the moment. Get the lacing wet as well, that's going to help it to slide. Just using some 4mm coated rope here. That's like rope with a polyester core, but with a, what do you call it, a wear resistant outer on that rope, which seems to be the best sort of stuff, because you could spend the money and get something with a Dyneema core, but it's not really necessary, I think, on a 16. However, on your Hobie Tiger or an F18 or a Tornado, anything else like that, then I would, because you're just lacing it at the back generally. Right, I'll try not to drop the camera in the water. Okay, Then, yeah, SK75. Yeah, I was going to say, or any sort of Dyneema, usually a 3mm, because as well as there being no stretch at all, it's also quite slippery, so it's really easy to get it tight. All right, there we go. All right, I just need to get two things. So first thing we're going to do is, does anyone know for sure that it's banned in their country? Okay, I know for sure that it's banned here, but it depends what you're talking about. There's all sorts of things that are banned and strange things that are still legal here in Greece. Okay, so we're just taking the capsized writing line, got that going between the sidebars. This will only work for your Hobie 16 or 14 or something that has sidebars. So for a boat like an F18 which doesn't have sidebars, this won't work. So what I'm doing is I've got a set of main sheet blocks here, as you may have spotted. Just having these stretched out as far as they'll go. I've tied on that side. And I'm putting this rope roughly halfway along the beam. Oh no, and the camera's gone down. All right, I'll come back and rescue that in a tick. If I come and rescue the camera every time, we'll never get this done. Is everybody okay? Hope nobody spilt their drink when the camera went down. What a moment. There, it was always going to happen. And okay, but it was worth it. Hold on, it's drowning. Yeah, man. All right, so what we've got is the capsized writing line going round between the beams. Keep calm. Yeah, and I'm now going to crank this in. As you could imagine, what that is going to do is bend the sidebars inwards, which means when we tighten up the middle part of the trampoline, when we release this rope, the trampoline is going to be even tighter. But how much bend have we got there? If I had new rubber on the sidebars, I'd put some cardboard or something there to protect it. But that is what we're looking at, and a little bit more. We're not going to go mad here with too much. Okay, and that looks good to me. Right, I'm just going to get something that is sort of long and sticky. Hi Joe, it's Lagoon 4. No, yeah, let's have it. Yeah, big catamarains as well on Show Us Your Cat all day long. All right, who's coming down with me? All right, everyone is. Yeah. All right, we're going underneath the trampoline where it is as advertised. A little bit damp. All right, let's flip this round. This is still allowed to sail in Texas. That is nice. All right, so we're just going to work out which way we're going to be pulling it. So we're going to be pulling it this way, and just going to position myself accordingly. And then I've got a stainless rudder pin. Oh, okay. Yeah, cabinet clamp to bend the sidebars. It will do exactly the same job, but perhaps with a slightly more elegant, I should think. And then what I'm going to do is just going to kind of use this like this, and then like this, just to save the fingers a bit. The first one, you're not going to get much on. And then, in fact, I'm going to pull that through now and get a bit of tension in there. Just a bit. And just pull it through. Doesn't matter if it slips out a bit, but I'm just pulling it through a bit. And that means that now when we hook this on to number 2, we can really crank it. And I use the nippy like that with the fingers. Oh yeah. Cool, I tell you what, a time lapse would be nice right now, wouldn't it? Oh. But this is the thing with being live, is it's live. Okay, so now I've pulled through a bit. Once we're holding it like that, that's holding the tension. So then I can pull a bit more through. Of course, if, whoa, I've gone wrong there. Have I? No. Wearing gloves might be an option if you're going to employ this technique. And then we're off again with a bit more tightening. There we go. Okay, let's move down a bit. Nicely knotted capsize line, thanks. I do similar with vice grips. Yeah, I think with 2 people using the grips is really nice because you can really wind it in and there's a little bit less, you feel slightly less under pressure to do it quickly. As you might if you weren't doing a live video on it as well. Here we go. Right, I'll lace that up when we get there. All right, so we're back in, under the boat. They'll never find me here. All right, cranking it on. Pulling it through again. All right, what's that say? Yeah, wooden plug. Yeah, nice, Stefan. All right, see you, Benito. Oh, sorry about your Wi-Fi. I think since lockdown happened, Wi-Fi everywhere has been going downhill a bit because everybody is making live YouTube videos. All right, so, oh man, there's some sort of pointy thing right underneath where I am, just there, which is giving one a really good poke. All right, so now I'm holding the tension and just gonna lace up a bit more. In fact, I'll just put a little knot in there and then I'll be able to lace up a bit more, a bit easier. Here we go. This is working the core here as well. Keeping it in this position. Is that going to pull out all right? Yeah, I think so. Right. Right, we're very close to some sort of completion. Well done for sticking around, everybody who's been here from the start especially. It's been quite an ordeal, trampoline lacing. I don't think it's anybody's favourite job to do on the boat. Perhaps if you've just got one boat to do, it's different. Right, where's my stick? Oh man, prickles everywhere. Right, so I'm gonna go backwards a little bit and just go along here. All right, got to finish soon because the wife who you might have met last Friday doing a yoga session has actually got a live yoga lesson that she's doing in about half an hour, I think. So have to be finished by then. There we go. So this is just my technique, which is pretty quick. Now I've got quite a bit of rope. I'm just going to use my hands because that is by far the quickest. And if you've got a good hand on you, I think you get a good result. Oh my goodness, there are more prickly things down here. Oh, look at that. Ouch. Ooh. Crikey. No way. You're getting a brand new 16. My goodness, that is possibly one of the best days ever, is getting a brand new 16. All right, so just going down here, nearly able to come out. All right, so then, yeah, just gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna come out now, so you're coming out too. All right, here we go. And as I come out, I'm just keeping attention on there, not letting it slip out. Let's see. Where are we? It needs a bit tighter now. You should be able to sit on there. I think my interweb broke. I know this is the sort of thing that could break the internet. Trampoline tightening. It is that much. This is right. So now I've just got a little bit left to do. Crikey, that was not particularly fun under there. But then we're not here to have a good time. We're here to tighten this here trampoline. So I'm just going to tighten it between the two sides for now, because the distance will change a bit when we finish the back lacing. Right, so I'm just putting in one of these sort of quick knots here. Right, let's see if I can just pop this in. Oh yeah, you can see the whole thing, beautiful. All right, so I'm just gonna go down here and I'm gonna tighten as we go. So here we go. If you've got fairly fresh hands, definitely wearing gloves is gonna be a good idea. So, just got to take this knot out that I put in earlier. Should come out fairly easily because we've gone around the beam, which has taken the pressure off that there knot. All right, let's keep that nice. All right, and we're back in the now. All right, so just tightening that on, holding the tension. So I'm only going around the beam once, but what I have found is all 16s are different in the kind of where the holes line up. Well, not all 16s, but all ages of 16s are different. How the holes lined up, how much of a gap there is between the pieces, that kind of stuff. So. You may notice your view is changing slightly because I'm moving the whole boat. So I'm putting a foot on the back beam for these tightening strokes. Let's try to stop moving the boat too much. All right, we are getting there. When I finish this bit and something else has happened. This is fairly repetitive. Whoever thought this was a good idea, live trampoline tightening on the internet. All right, there we go, just a few more to go. Those of you who are still here, you're definitely the hardcore, or perhaps you've just accidentally left it on and you've left the room. All right, so nearly there. One thing I didn't mention is with this back lacing strip is just to make sure it's totally central before you start. Otherwise, all your holes are going to be misaligned. And cool, you'll be in a right old pickle. Well, or it will just not be quite as good. Perhaps right old pickle is a little bit much. All right, so I'm just going back through here. So I've gone through here, back through here, and I'm just going to finish it off. That way we get a little bit of purchase in the middle. And it's this middle one, this one here, which is really holding a lot of difference with that. And I'm going through again. And then just going to put 3 half hitches in there. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And then I would just tuck the tail away thus. Okay, so just going to do the same on this side. We're getting the extreme close up here. Time we got 6:30 Greek time. Is the clock definitely ticking away in trampoline land. All right, how are we doing now? Is that right? It is wrong. All right, so here we go. So we're just going around the beam once with this design. I know what we're all waiting for is that moment afterwards where we give it the push to find out if we've done a good job. Oh, I hope so. All right, this time I'm going to go for a slightly different approach to see if it is any quicker, and that is more like what we did in the middle, is just lacing a bit up first. I think it's going to be about the same, and also we don't get as much rope to hang on to. So here we go. By the way, 0 shoes. If you want shoes that are really comfortable and good for your feet, 0 shoes. These come from America. They're what are known as barefoot shoes. So the soles are really thin, which is because it's those big chunky soles that you've got on your trainers, which actually do your feet all sorts of injustices. Whereas if you've got really thin soles, you're just attached to the earth, man. And yeah, and it's good for the whole body. You feel that your knees are better, your hips are better, your movements are more regular, you've got a more positive outlook. And also these shoes also, which is a great thing about them, is that they've got loads of space for the toes, which is nice, which you don't generally get on a regular sneaker, is space for the toes. Love a bit of space for the toes. Oh my goodness, we are dangerously close here to completion. Just going to do it one at a time. Oh. I'm looking forward to this being finished as much as anyone, I could tell you. So all we have to do is a few more here, tie a knot in it, tidy up the end of the middle bit of lacing, then we can take the main sheet off, which is pulling the beams in, and then that's it. Of course, if you've had your boat not tied down and you're expecting some strong winds, once you put the trampoline on, there's a lot more windage. The wind can get underneath the trampoline and flip your boat. So, what's that? I noticed, oh, I didn't see that, but I think addressing the masses. Yeah, so once the trampoline's on your boat, it is really important to have your boat really well tied down, because otherwise, if there's any wind, even without the mast up, your boat could get flipped over. Definitely with the mast up. So 3 half hitches again. Then I'm just gonna have another look at this middle bit, just finish that off. Pulling the tension on there. Oh yeah, camera's gone down. Is everybody okay? What measure of line? Okay, I've got all this. Where would you find this? I've got it on my Patreon page, actually. You can go to my Patreon page, even if you're not in the club, as it were. If you're not a patron of the channel, you can go to the Patreon page, and there's quite a lot of stuff there, like information such as all of your rope lengths for Hobie 16s and Hobie Tigers, which is, I think that's handy. All right, so same thing here. Just gonna pop in 3 half hitches. We are so close to being finished here. That's 2. 1 more. Nice. Okay, and then let's assume I've tidied that up. Taking this pin back. All right, so there we go. Wow, we've even got more people here now than we did at the start. That is impressive. This is compelling viewing, clearly. All right, so last thing we're going to do is just release this and take it off. So this is actually, it's tied on at that end and just hooked on at the other end. So I'm going to do it let's call it the easy way. One-handed. Okay, and we'll take that off the boat. Okay, so here we go. Who wants me to put my hand on it and see if it's tight enough? That is good. Very nice. So I think, there we go, we've put the trampoline on. That is part 2 of this epic voyage of putting the Hobie 16 together, completed. Thanks very much to everybody who stayed here with me throughout, through thick and thin, even during the miserable bit when I was underneath the boat. That was not a good time. What you could do is put some sort of something there to help. But I'm gonna, yeah, thanks very much, White Knight. 180 SX. Good to have you here. Yeah, so what was it? Yeah, thanks, Rob. Hope to meet you in Vasiliki too. Hope they open the gates and let everybody in. So tomorrow, 5:30. Yeah, thanks, Murilo. Yeah, if you've got any more questions, either put it in the comments to this video, not the live comments, the comments afterwards, when it'll just be posted as a normal video afterwards. But tomorrow, 5:30, of course, when you make Texas, yeah, it's going to be a while. Yeah, cheers, Jeff. Nice one. And thank you. Will, nice one. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for sticking around right until the end. So tomorrow, stretching for catamaran sailors, which is loosely disguised yoga. And I think while we're in a lot of us are in a state of not being able to go sailing, you could benefit from this by, if you do some stretching, you've got a Guinness waiting for me. Nice, I'll take it. If you do some stretching, perhaps 2 or 3 times a week, by the time you go sailing next, you'll be feeling a lot better. Thank you, Christian. Thanks for tuning in and sticking with it. So there we go, stretching tomorrow at 5:30. Tell your friends. It's not just for the regular viewers, let's say. So if you have a wife who enjoys a bit of yoga, then perhaps she'd like to have a watch. Because my wife, who's leading the session, is a highly accomplished yoga teacher. So there we are. All right, so that'll do. And the only other thing is, just to let you know, I went out earlier on my bike. No sailing on, but you can go out on your bike. And I videoed it. Because you guys are here, that means you're the committee. Do you think it's okay for me to post biking videos from here on this channel? Is that something you'd like to see? Because I've already it's already ready to upload, so I'm gonna upload it anyway. But your trailers, oh yeah, man, yeah, that is yeah, sure, thank you, Steve. Yeah, that's my tornado trailer that goes on tour. Yeah, she's not looking too happy just now, but she will look happier by the time she's back on the road. Somebody will lose their stuff over that one. Not me. All right. Not me. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. All right, so thank you, guys. I don't care about bikes, but I think it would be fine on your channel. Well, thank you, Jeff. I'd say stick to sailing, keep the channel consistent. I think, you see, this is what I was worried about as well, is diluting what I've got going on here. Yeah, perhaps I'll put on this one that I've done, and then after that I'll look at maybe I'll do a different channel of stuff that I'm doing which isn't sailing, which I could put almost anything on. Okay, so I think we are done. Yes. Oh, show me all what I've not seen of Lefkada in 25 years. Yes. That's Stefan there. He has been to Vasiliki more times than anybody. In fact, he's been here more times than I have, because I've generally stayed and Stefan has generally come out, then left, then come back. Most frequent visitor award goes to Stefan. All right. So there we go. I'm logging off. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow for some stretching, or if not, next week for the rudders. And let me know in the comments how you got on with knowing that this was going on, whether you saw it on Facebook or if it was through the YouTube post I put on yesterday, or how you found out, or whether you didn't know it was going on and it just happened to pop up while you were on your computer. Thank you.